Right now, what I really want to talk about is the real, useful part of this work. How are you going to break the pattern? That is where most of us really are stuck. That is why. We're stuck in that loop of harsh words to ourselves. We are stuck in the energy of being a victim. We have too many reasons to say, I'm busy, I have too much going on, I'm overwhelmed, and I'm anxious. We blame that coworker and our partner. We have that, and that's what our daily lives are like. The real question is how to break that pattern in a way that really makes a difference and is easy enough for anyone to start using as a starting point for a real change. There is an old saying that says you should meditate every day for 20 minutes, unless you're really busy. In that case, you should meditate every day for an hour. I love that so much. And that's the real reason I meditate for 2 hours every day. The key to all of this, the key that opens that door, is a fundamental change in how we think about things. It's not just information, it's a whole new way of seeing things. This is when you start to understand how quantum consciousness works. From a theoretical point of view, if you can entertain the thought that your thoughts, or consciousness, have something to do with your future, and that your inner state actively shapes your fate, then you need to look at how that works. Suppose you have 60 to 70,000 thoughts every day, and studies show that 90% of those thoughts are the same ones you had the day before. Then your life won't change that much, right? It can't. For as long as you think the same way, you are in a closed loop. When you have the same thoughts, or mental signals, over and over, you always make the same decisions. When you make the same choices, you will always act in the same way. The same actions lead to the same experiences in the outside world. You expect the same feelings or emotions from those experiences that you know you will have. Those feelings, that chemical rush, are the reward, and the thoughts that set off the whole cycle are fed by that reward. This is the loop. Over time, this loop repeats itself every day and every year. Your biology, including your neurocircuitry, neurochemistry, hormones, and even your genetic expression, becomes an exact copy of how you think, act, and feel. What we call the sum of what you think, what you do, and how you feel is your personality. Your personal reality is made up of your personality. That is the most important rule. You can't get out of this equation. In other words, the person who is listening to this right now, their beliefs, habits, and feelings have made the present personal reality that they call their life. If you can really hold on to this one big idea, the logic will follow naturally. Changing who you are is the only way to make a new life and reality for yourself. You can't change your personality and enter a new reality. It breaks the law. This means you need to change the way you think about the things you've been thinking about regularly. In other words, you need to become aware of your unconscious actions, your automatic habits, and your reflexive behaviors, and change them. The most important thing is that we need to start looking at the emotions we live by every day, the familiar ones that keep us chemically and energetically connected to the past. And we need to be sure that these emotions belong in our future. Most people try to make a new reality for themselves while keeping their old personality, but it doesn't work. The energetic signal you send into the quantum field is the same, but you expect a different outcome. It's not possible. You have to change into someone else. The basic idea in neuroscience that explains this is that nerve cells that fire together also wire together. This is how you make your mind stronger. The same networks of neurons are stamped into rigid patterns every time you think that same thought, make that same choice, show that same habit, or have that same experience. You are teaching your brain to remember things from the past. You do all of this for the emotion or feeling that you call you. If you do that over and over again for 10, 20, or 30 years, those patterns will become so deeply ingrained in your brain that they become who you are automatically. For most of us, that identity is set in stone by the time we're 35. We have turned into a collection of learned behaviors, unconscious habits, and emotional ties. Psychology from the past used to say that you can't really change that after this point. But now that we know more about neuroplasticity, we know that this is not true at all. You can change. You have to know what you're up against, though. The habit of yourself is that hardwired brain full of patterns you know. At this point in time, we understand that 95% of who we are is made up of automatic programs that run in our minds. At most, your conscious mind will guide you for 5% of the day. The plan makes up the other 95%. So the whole point of this work and meditation is to get free from those programs. We need to separate our minds from the program. Now is the time to use your power as the quantum observer. But when you decide to do something different, when you make a choice that goes against the norm, most people don't want to deal with the overwhelming feeling of discomfort that comes up. That feeling of discomfort, not knowing what will happen, and not being able to plan ahead is the unknown. And people are scared of what they don't know. There's no risk in the realm of pure possibility for them. They'd rather live in the familiar pain of their guilt, shame, or unhappiness. At least they know who they're going to be and how it will feel. That's why you ask, well, how long have you been this way? When someone starts to really get this model. I've been like this for 35 years, they claim. You ask why, and I say, because I went through this terrible thing 35 years ago. It turned out that the stronger the emotion you feel in response to any event in your life, the more changed you feel inside. The brain narrows in on the cause and freezes the image. Taking a picture, the more changed you feel. That picture is known as a long-term memory. People often think about that event for the rest of their lives after it happened. So, what do I say? Forget about it. You don't need to think about the past for 20 years. Just get over your feelings. The chemical and energetic signature of your emotion is what holds you to the past. In a general sense, this all sounds great, doesn't it? In reality, though, when you try to do it, when you leave your comfortable routine and stop having those thoughts and feelings, you enter the unknown, the void. The body is the first to speak out against it. What is a routine? When the body takes over the mind, it's called a habit. Not your mind, but your body is in charge during this time. If you've been thinking about that event for 35 years and that thought makes you feel a certain way, then you have trained your body to feel that way. There must be a thought and an emotion in order for the conditioning process to begin. That means that the body is either hardwired into a familiar past, or for many, a predictable but stressful future, since it wakes up every day and does the same set of routine, stressful things. For most people, this means that the present moment, this creative, eternal now, becomes the scary unknown. But what do people do when they start to feel that pain or chemical void? They'd rather scroll through their phone. They'd rather text a friend. They'd rather just get up and say, I can't meditate. They would rather say, I have too much to do. They say they don't need to be in the present. Why? They are going back to that comfortable, known feeling. The body is telling the brain what to do. This is when the slave turns into the master. When the body turns into the mind, that's called a habit. Your mind is going into the quantum field of all possibilities, which is unknown, and your body is telling you, "Oh no, this is new to me. I don't have my drug fix. I'd rather feel bad about it. I'd rather be sad. I would rather be anxious than in this pain and uncertainty." That's why they feel safe again when they get back to that feeling. They feel like who they are. The body starts to withdraw, which changes the mind as they step into the unknown. All the programs start to whisper, "You can start tomorrow. Right now you're too busy. It's not going to work for you. It's because of your mom. It's the fault of your culture. I don't have enough cash. Don't waste your time on this." These are the shows. These are the voices that are stopping you from reaching your goals. These are the tie-downs that keep your quantum consciousness in one small world. What is the one bad feeling that you know you want to feel? Does it feel like anger, guilt, or stress? Leave a comment with it below. That's why we need to use a new rule. Nerve cells that no longer fire together, no longer wire together. This is the process of turning off the old self. When you pay attention to those body and mind states, those emotions and thoughts, you are no longer the program. You are the consciousness that is watching that program. And as soon as you look at it, you leave it behind. You're in charge again. You have brought your consciousness back from the subconscious. In this case, meditate just means to get to know. You become aware of how you automatically speak as you get used to those old, automatic thoughts. You become aware of the things you do without thinking about them. From a neutral point of view, you start to notice how you're feeling each moment. The more you are aware of those programs that run in the background, the less unconscious you will be during the day. Why is this important? This is because it's not enough to have a great meditation and then get angry and stressed out when you get stuck in traffic on the freeway. If you do that, you'll be back to be yourself again. You just confirmed your old self, and now you will experience your old reality. Then, our real job is to stay in that changed, high state of mind and body all day. Get ready if you can do that. Get ready because your life is about to start changing in a magical way. A strange thing will happen. It will show up as a coincidence, a chance, or a new person. That's the breadcrumb. That's the divine or quantum field telling you you're on the right track. You change the way you signal. Do it again and again. After that, there will be another one. One more. The only thing you need to do is stay in that new energy. My life's work is now to help other people understand this. There is a way to do it. We now understand that these changes will happen if you use this formula. The results are also getting better faster because more and more people in our community are doing it well. Bond University just got a huge set of my brain scans from the last 10 years for a huge clinical study. The researchers have looked into it a lot and are amazed at how quickly our community can change the way their brain or heart works. They understand how to do it. It is not a secret. It's not something separate from them. They have done it enough times to be able to catch themselves. They know how to change their identity. What does that have to do with anything? Your life is pretty easy, though. You are going back to the old self if you keep reacting the same way to the same people and situations. It's up to you to stay aware of your life. A clear, emotional picture of the future is also important. If you don't have one, the feelings and memories of the past will define you, and people will know what to expect from you. It takes more than just your mind to cross that river of change from the old self to the new self. It's the death of the old self in the brain. It's a death of the body. It's the death of the old self through chemicals, hormones, and even genes. However, people will not give up if they are taught that there is something deep and real on the other side of that river. They are going to keep going. And now there is enough scientific proof to make people want to do it. You can't say that you're too old to do this. People in their 80s have done it. You can't say you're not well enough to do this work. People with stage 4 diseases have been able to get better. You can't tell me that your past was rough, or that you're too fat, too skinny, or too out of shape. You can't say you've never meditated. Come on. In fact, some of the most interesting and important brain scans we have are from people who have never meditated and aren't trying to do anything. They just do what they're told and let go. Deep down, our community is starting to understand that this is possible. They put everything they have into it because they think it's possible. Not half of it. It's not 60%. 1,000 to 1,500 people come to our event every week, and they're all in. They start going beyond their programmed selves on the first or second day. Once they start going beyond themselves in a real way, magic starts to happen. I don't know. I am not able to guess what will happen next. In general, though, it's pretty exciting. Some people believe that we will change when the pain of staying the same finally beats the pain of change. The answer is yes, that is correct. But the question is, how much worse can it get? Why do we care so much about our old selves? What is it about the self that holds us so tight? Is it safety? Is it safe? Does it just feel right, as you said? Why do we keep focusing on something we don't even like? I feel like someone has hypnotized us. Because of our culture, I think we've been taught to be materialistic. I believe that our senses tell us what is real, which I believe is one of the biggest lies of all. So, this brings us to the main question of the piece. Are you willing to believe in a future that you can't see or feel yet? You've thought about that future so many times in your mind that neuroplasticity has changed your brain so that it looks like it already happened. The most recent research on plasticity says that is possible. The second question is, can you pick a new possibility or potential from the field of quantum particles that are infinite? And can you start to emotionally accept that future reality every day to the point where your body, which is your unconscious mind or objective mind, doesn't know the difference between the emotion that comes from real-life experiences and the emotion that you make up in your head? Can you do it to the point where you start to tell new genes to act in new ways, changing your body so that it looks like the experience already happened? The newest epigenetics research says that is, in fact, possible. When synchronicity happened, did you ever feel like it was too good to be true? I want to read your story. Take a look at this. You sit down every single day. You are wiring up the brain of the person you will be in the future. Every day, you train your body to feel the high emotion that you will feel in the future. It learns what your future feels like from you chemically. Your body starts to change so that it looks like it's already happened as you do this. This is the fun part. You don't have to go get it anymore. You don't have to fight, force, or control anymore. It starts to come to you now. The vortex turns you into it. You put your fate in the hands of others. Your quantum signature has changed, so the field needs to change to match your new state of being. That's when some people wake up from their meditation and say, "Well, I just thought about my money for 20 minutes. Where is it?" As of now, you're not very good at this if you ask, "Why isn't it here?" Because as soon as you ask that, you become the old person again. Your senses are defining what is real for you. Lack is what you are seeing. You are noticing that your dream isn't there, and your quantum consciousness is breaking down the reality of not having it all over again. The goal of the experiment is to stay in that high state for a long time. Make yourself a scientist. It's up to you to keep your energy and mind focused on the dream of your future. Then, watch to see what effects start to happen. This needs to be done without getting antsy, without getting angry or upset, without beginning to think about why it hasn't happened yet or when it will. That's the trap. When you use your senses to define reality, you fall into this trap. Being separated means that you can think about your future, but not see it with your own eyes. You feel like you're missing something. But the people who do this work think about and feel what their future will be like. They aren't separate from it anymore. In the quantum field, they are linked to it. But you have to practice this. You just need to learn how. To hit a golf ball, tennis ball, dance the salsa, crochet, or do something else. It's like that. In the beginning, you need to stay very aware and learn the steps. After that, you get good at it. Then it becomes necessary, enjoyable, and natural. That's what I want for everyone. There should be joy, play, ecstasy, and freedom in the process of creating and collapsing a new reality. I love the idea of people taking time out of their busy lives to show themselves that they are no longer living by the memories of the past if they set their sights on the future. And that is the place where the unknown lives. A lot of people are scared of the unknown because they're used to getting proof from their senses first. They can't see that future. You need to be able to get past that. You need to be able to stay in the dark. That pain has to be something you can handle. What is the main thing that makes you doubt something when you're feeling hopeful? It used to be impatience for me. What's yours? Then, when you're feeling uncomfortable or empty, that's when you start to control yourself. After that, the real work starts. You think, oh, I'm starting to feel a little anxiety. Ooh, I'm starting to feel a little frustration, a little impatience. That is what makes the difference. That's your body remembering the past, since all emotions are records of the past. Or, you're going back to the old habits and routines of yourself. Now is the time when you have the most power. You understand. That's a win. And if you keep catching yourself, each win adds up. You understand that this isn't really about your money, your health, your freedom, or your new relationship. That's what it's really about. Who you become. We can change into someone else by getting rid of our old selves. There is also that time of change. In my 3D world, there's just not much going on. I call it the void. You have to be able to keep going. The end of your belief is where you have to keep going. That's where most people stop. This past weekend, I had a great conversation with someone who broke through. She pushed through the hole and came out on the other side. Right now, this person is being hit with so much magic that she can hardly keep up. But the important thing is that she deserves it now. That's the key. We can't get what we want from the universe, the quantum field. The universe only gives us what we think we deserve. It makes us who we are and what we are. We need to learn more about this. There is programming that tells us that we need to change things from the very beginning, which is something we need to be aware of. This three-dimensional world can't be changed without our bodies, and it will take time. But there is a lot of unlearning that needs to happen before we can connect to the quantum field, which is a huge, energetic, and informational resource. We have to learn how to make things from the field instead of matter. Do you know what you're doing when you catch yourself? Are you going to write that down? Are you taking note? Are you writing this down in your head? In real life, what does someone need to do to deal with that emotion, that anxiety when it feels so heavy? That sounds and feels so real. I was just at Facebook's headquarters in Menlo Park a few weeks ago to try out their brand new Oculus VR headsets. All of the studies that have been done on virtual reality show that it feels like you're hanging off the edge of a cliff, and your body reacts the same way, with the same heart rate, cortisol, and adrenaline, as if you were really hanging off a cliff. This is proof that your imagination, or in this case, virtual reality, can be like the real world. It also shows how real that feeling is, though. Our body, when you jump off that ledge, you do it as if it were real, so that stress feels really real. After you catch it, what do? What does that feeling do? Jay, it's just like golf, just like anything else. You do something bad again. You need to start practicing in your head. How'd I do? You ask yourself at the end of the day. I do it every day. How are you today, Joe? How did you do? How did you lose your good looks? What was it? When did that happen that knocked you out for the rest of the day? Now, if you're a real-life student, you'll start to think, yes, that person it was. I replied after that person said that thing. Or say, I got this email. Or maybe things didn't go my way, and I started feeling angry or frustrated or fearful. Okay, what can I do to make the next time that happens better? You might have to look for answers about the best model to build, or you might think about it for a long time and then decide, God, the next time that happens, I think I'm going to do this. Or say, I'm going to do that. You start to plan how you will act. When you close your eyes and think about what you're going to do, you're not just daydreaming. You are putting together the parts of your brain that make it look like you already did it. When you do this, your brain stops keeping track of the past. It's now a roadmap for the future. You can turn that hardware into a software program over time if you keep installing it. In other words, you'll start acting like you're joyful, patient, or loving. Why? There's no magic there. You put in the circuitry. The practice is more important than the news. You should do it more than answer any email or text. It's more important than going to dinner or talking about the past. You are building the new quantum self in your brain if you can just think about how you're going to do things differently. Say you catch yourself in an old habit. What is one thing or thought that helps you break out of it? Let us share our plans. Now, you need to become aware in order to do that. It takes some time. That means you need to turn off your cell phone, close your door, stop focusing on what's out there, and start practicing what's in here. So after a while, you start to notice, oh, there it comes. This is where the anger comes in. Fear is coming. Now that we've given them the tools, they can control themselves. To make your brain and heart work together on purpose. People in our community will just say, "Excuse me 1 minute. I need a moment to think." They take a deep breath. They get back to making sense. They get in touch with the energy of the future again. And they know that this situation doesn't matter compared to where they're going, so they don't lose their good name. They don't let their power go down. And yes, it does take a lot at first. Being aware and using a lot of energy to stay awake and not fall asleep. But if you don't give up, are determined, and are honest, you start to figure it out. You say, I am not going to give my power, my creative energy, away to that person or that circumstance, when I can be using that same energy to heal myself or to create a new future. That's why people won't give excuses. They won't say things like, yesterday was rough for me. I don't feel like doing the work because I got into a fight with my coworker or my ex. Now is the exact time to get back on the horse. What would be the one scene from your ideal future that you would play over and over in your mind tonight? Describe how it makes you feel. We value those times the most because that's when we learn how to fix ourselves. People who have had deeply transcendental experiences, where they got lit up, that is, they connected to the unified field, have a transcendental download, a mystical connection. Their brain goes into these very, very high coherent states, into super gamma patterns that are not normal. They look back at their whole life when they get back, and they don't want to change a single thing. Not a single one. Because every step, every struggle led to that moment of connection. The past is no longer there at that point. Also, when they think about their past, they remember all the hard times. All the times they thought about giving up but didn't. All of those times, they got through it. They fall in love with that person. They don't look at the good meditations or the times things went well. They look at the fight. There is no doubt in their minds that those times of overcoming led them to this moment of transcendence. I think that's when they start to understand that no one can take away the hard work and effort that goes into becoming who we are. What happens after we reach that new level of being and experience our dream or what we make happen, like new wealth, health, or a relationship? The next step is to keep doing it until you're happy with it. Then, when that gets dull or predictable, let's do it again. Let it do something else. I believe that is evolution. If this message spoke to you, put "I am the observer" in the comments to remind yourself of your strength.